Yeah, it's a post that I put up the other day about the dude to get kicked out of the show
I
with his
saw.
girl.
You can see my comments.
They still in there
Yeah.
talking about it, and I posted this 2 days ago.
I was all up in
They
it too.
still up in the comments.
I booed Leslie's comments.
Oh man, everybody getting it, man. Like,
I
nah,
was like,
man.
hell no.
Why?
But I did say, and a lot of people agreed, that me as a guy, how I get down, it never would have got that far because I would have told her to shut her ass up a long time ago.
But you gotta take what you would do out and just stick to the scenario. A lot of people was like, I would never even disrupt the show.
But she did.
Once you do that, you lose the whole.
But the fact that I only saw 2 girls say you don't have to leave. I acted a fool. Everybody else was like, you got to come with me. What? Because you acted a fool? That doesn't make sense to me.
That
does not make sense to me.
I posed the question to Sabrina, and she was just like, she was asking for like context. Are we in the middle of nowhere? Is it safe outside? I'm like, it's just a comedy club. Usually comedy clubs are not in the middle of nowhere. And so, you can chill at the bar or you can just, find something to do. And the way I'm built, the way I'm put together, like if you disrupt the show and you ruin it for me, and then if you like, you know what, I'm going to just take this L. I'll see you after the show. Just enjoy. I might leave with you on the strength that you owned it and you was willing to let me stay. I'll be like, no, you know what, let's stick together. I'll go out. But if you come back with an attitude and then expect me, and then you force me to leave, if I do leave, I'm not talking to you for like 2 weeks. It's going to be awkward around the house.
I can tell you right now, I'm not leaving.
I'm going to just be pissed off. Because you're a grown woman. You fumbled the ball. It's all on you. Why do I have to leave with you?
And you know me. Once I spent my money,
oh,
I'm not leaving.
Money was spent.
And
you ruined it?
I'm not leaving.
And you want me to leave with you? And then if you're going to hit me with the threat, well, some other dude will take the other dude.
Bye.
I don't do that.
I don't know.
Let's explain for the audience what happened.
Are we
rolling?
Oh, we've been live.
We was fully in.
So here's the deal, y'all. We at one of the shows this weekend in Orlando, there was a couple there. They was excited to see me. They were fans, and so the lady in the couple, she was chatty. She was like everything I was saying, she was chiming in on.
Well, you got to get a backstory about how she did with the host.
Oh, I'm gonna do that later.
Versus me, okay.
So I'm up there just being nice, even though she's chatty. I'm like, yo, they fans. They drove in from Jacksonville. Let me be super nice. And I noticed that she was like really chatty. Like anytime I asked her something, she would go on, and then I could feel the audience just like, I was like, and then it got to a point where I was like, all right. I can hear the audience turning on you. You're going to have to chill out a little bit. They were like, yeah. The audience started clapping. I was like, man, what happened here? And so shortly thereafter, I see staff interacting with them and and the next thing you know, I'm still trying to do my jokes. And I noticed the audience is not really engaged. They because they focused on the couple and what's going on there. So I'm like, man. So I started talking about that. Everybody's all in, and then they get kicked out. And so the dude that was sitting next to them gives me the scoop, like, yeah, they came and asked her to leave. She left, but then she came back and made her man leave. And I was like, oh, they drove in from Jacksonville. Mind you, the man was a model audience member. He was laughing, having a great time, doing what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Spoke when spoken to, and then would hush. And then I come to find out later on, I was like, oh, man. And then it was like, yeah, she was rude to the host. I was like, she was rude to the host because I felt bad. But once I found out she was rude to the host, I was like, oh, well, then get out of here. Get out of here. So I posed the question on my Instagram page. I was like, ladies, would you make your man leave with you? Let's ask you, man. You ruined the show. You and Tony at the show. You ruined it.
He may never speak to me again.
Well, yeah, but
if I ruin the show,
would you make him leave?
I wouldn't make him do anything. I would see if he left.
Uh-huh.
I would just go and I would see if he left. But if I'm acting like that,
right.
Was she drunk already?
I don't know if she was drunk. She didn't have a drunk vibe.
She didn't. Like and she didn't give me any problems. She was rude to the host. The host said something about having no ass. And she was like, yeah, you ain't got no ass. And then he said something back to her like, you don't have to talk. And the audience erupted like, yeah, shut your ass up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, you don't have to talk. So she was already gone. But when I came up, she said nothing. Mm-hmm. So all she said was like, we were having a good time. And then when he came back up, she was back chatty. So then when she got booted, you know what I mean? He left, right? He left with her.
Yeah.
So Tony was like, would you make your man leave? So
you have a
would
picture of the
I got
couple?
a picture. I'm gonna grab the picture
Yeah.
real quick. But if you was the girl,
Would you
was
make
talking?
Would you leave?
Would you come back and make Tone leave, or would you just take the L?
I would take the L, but I've been in the opposite situation. My friend didn't know the etiquette to comedy clubs, and I was just like, oh, please be quiet right now. Oh, please. I'm not going to say which friend it was, but I was like, all right, I will leave with her.
Oh, she
She's
got
my
booted?
friend. No, but I was getting uncomfortable because she didn't understand, like, this isn't about you. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to go out with her because I'm going to see her.
Yeah.
She's going to be part of my life, whereas a comedy club won't.
Okay, but if you got the boot, you wouldn't be like, Tony, we leave it.
Well, she's already acting ignorant, or I would already be acting ignorant. I'm
Yeah.
assuming I would be way too drunk at this point, so I have no control over my actions, and I would not remember.
This is them.
Oh.
He was chilling.
He was
He was
if
cool.
you
He was
watching
having
this,
a
you
great
were
time.
great, man. But she was just.
She looks like she'd go to the manager. She's the type.
Get your manager.
They was
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, this is them from Jacksonville, Florida. They drove in to Orlando. I'm not
But it
sure.
gets to a point where,
how far that
like he
is.
said, the crowd is like, we don't like you.
Yeah.
So it's like, but yeah. Anyway, he posed the question. Would you make your man leave? And 99% was like, if we
They
leave, I
was
got. And I'm like, you messed it up. Why we gotta go? What?
If
what
I
do
messed
have to
it
go
up for my girl, I'm honestly and truly, I'm not just saying this to save face. If I know I ruined everything, I'll wait. I'll be like, I'll take the L. I'll be sitting out here. I'll be on my phone. It's only 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not like 3 hours you got to wait. It's not like a ball game and you got kicked out in the first quarter. This is like a comedy show, and so I would take the L if I were ruined. But that's just
Same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this happen at Kevin Hart when Kev was working on his special in Burbank, and everybody was there. It specifically says no phones outside. A girl had her phone out front row. She got booted. Her friends was like, "Bye,
right.
we are gonna
Yeah.
watch this show. I'm sorry, that's on you."
That's on.
Yada yada yada. Everybody, she was like a group of 6, and she walked outside, and she just waited outside.
Yep.
And they was like, "We finishing the show. Like why should we all have to leave?"
Of course.
Because you ruined it.
And
the
the
same
rules
thing in
were laid
relationship.
out.
Like you did this. I shouldn't have to leave. And what kind of partner are you of mine to want to ruin my fun because you acted ass?
This has happened before with them, clearly.
And that's what everybody was saying. They was like, So then we went to other scenarios, like, because I'm like, well, if that's me, that never happens because I'm checking her before Tony has to security. I'm like, shut your ass up.
Right.
Be quiet.
Just squeeze the hand a little bit.
So people are like, well, he's obviously used to dealing with that, yada, 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 whatever. But every woman was like, if y'all go, we go. And I was like, I don't agree with that at all.
I ain't feeling it.
And if it was like he said, if it was on the reverse end, let's say we going to see her favorite singer and I'm acting ass, I'm not going to make her miss that show. That's
absolutely.
me.
You
I'll
enjoy
leave.
the show.
I'll sit outside. I'll sit in the car or whatever.
I
Like,
ruined it. My bad.
Yeah.
I'll see you. I'll be in the car.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not doing that. That's selfish.
Mad selfish.
That's hella selfish.
And I'll be like, man, I'm disappointed in you, women.
And then someone was like, well, he could just cuss me out in the car on the way home, but you still ruined his night.
I'm gonna be cussing you out for a full month.
Yeah.
It take me a while to get over stuff, especially something that unnecessary. Oh,
Well, can he take her anywhere?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
And then I said, I'm staying, and I'll just take the fight in the car. I don't care, and I'm gonna win that fight because I'm like, you was wrong. I don't give a
We
damn
did
what
nothing
you said.
wrong here.
I did nothing wrong. So you can get all the attitude you want. You can have it. I don't give a shit. Like I'm not.
Because that's great. That's grounds for breaking up with somebody.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you
I
do
don't
this
care.
on an early date, you'd be like, man, watch out. Man, she was talking too much at the live show.
Yep.
I had to dump her.
Now in context, they're newlyweds. They've been married for a year, so he's got a long. He's got a long years ahead of him.
Man.
And maybe that was just she was in rare form,
It could have
and that was
just
an
been an
off night
isolated
for her.
incident.
And
It could have been isolated.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been maybe she learned something,
yeah.
tonight. We'll
Next
see.
show, she's
I
like,
really
"I'll be
would
fine."
like to contact them again, like to see how everything's going, what happened.
And clearly she does know that because during my set she was silent.
She was chilling.
She said one thing and it was a positive comment, and then
And everything
was
she
it.
was saying to me, it was friendly. It was like she was
Yeah.
just excited, but she was just trying. She didn't know the etiquette of comedy shows. She got
Mhm.
too comfortable with me interacting because as soon as I hit the stage, I went right to them and gave them energy, feedback. So she was like, "Oh, this is what we can
Yeah.
do all night."
but the audience didn't like her because she was friendly with him, but she was mean to the host, and that's why they didn't like her. I think audience does get annoyed with chiming back and forth, but they already didn't like her from the jump because she was like, "You ain't gotta talk." And he was like, and he was newer too, so he didn't really know
he
didn't know how to deal with it,
It's not an interactive event.
Nah.
This is
It can be. It just depends on the comedian.
And I went up there
the
defensive because I was waiting for it because I was about to be like, "Shut your ass up." But she was just nice to me. So I was like,
oh, so you saw her go with the host?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I already came up with the energy, like
Right.
I'm destroying her.
I'm
But
waiting
the
for her.
audience, I saw in the comments, they was like, we was ready for you to lay into it. So the audience was waiting on me, like, oh, he about to kill her.
I didn't see none of the show. Well, I didn't see none of the beginning part of the show, so it was all new. So anyway, but forget all that, man. We got kids.
We got kids.
Daddy issues.
Still.
This is the longest intro of all time. If that was a movie coming on, it'd been on 30 minutes, and then it would have showed the title of the movie.
I like movies like that, though.
I don't mind it.
That start halfway, and you're like, oh, what happened? And they go back
Yeah.
in time.
I don't mind that. We back, man. You know what I'm saying? Back on Daddy Issues. My oldest son, he did a episode of Sabrina's podcast, Life's a Joke.
I saw that.
He came through and he did her show. So if you haven't seen it, Sabrina the Plug on YouTube. She has a podcast, usually co-hosted by his wife, Gotti, and it's called Life's a Joke, living with comedians and so forth and so on. Had my son on there asking them questions, and my youngest son just had a birthday, September 5th.
Yeah. So he's 19?
He's 18 now, so
Oh,
he
he's
can
8.
vote.
Oh, okay.
He can vote. Now,
18.
you
He's
know,
a
the pressure was
responsible
on.
guy to
Yeah.
be. I'm glad. Certain people turn 18. He be like,
Yeah, 18.
I want
man.
you to be able to vote.
18.
He's
I
a
feel
responsible
like he
young
would
man.
just really just analyze who he's voting
He
for
would.
and why. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't get caught up in the hype of stuff and just like, truly make an informed voting choice. Who did I vote for last election? Stein.
I think that's what I voted.
I voted for Jill Stein last election. Because a lot of people were like, when I go in on Trump, well, Hillary, your
I
girl.
hated
I'm like,
Hillary.
that ain't my girl.
Yeah.
I didn't
voted
vote for
Steins,
Hillary.
too.
Yeah, I didn't
Yes.
vote for Hillary.
I didn't like Hillary at all.
People automatically assume you either voting Democrat or Republican. I'm neither.
No.
Nope.
I'm neither. You could catch me vote for a Republican.
And then people was like, you split the vote. First of all, I live in California, which is going to be blue every year.
Yeah.
So me voting
Hillary
for Jill
won
hurted
regardless.
nothing.
in California.
Yeah. Hillary actually won in general. They just electoral college. So
Right.
don't put that. You split the vote.
It only matters in those states where it really comes down to the,
Yeah.
it
And
can
people
change
not
at
even
any
looking at the
moment.
big problem. The fact that they made it a two-party system.
Mhm.
That's not on us. They
Right.
did that. Like, you have to choose one or the other. Instead of just have a bunch of people and we get to vote on whoever the hell we want to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They
Just had
did the
like
party
7,
system.
8
That ain't-
people up
yeah.
in there. No two parties.
That ain't us. But people be so caught up in the, you got to pick a side. The hell I do? I don't have to do that.
We got 50 states, but we supposed to pick between two
Yeah.
sides?
They should just
Out of
honestly,
50 states?
who wants to run? Like you do anything else. Who wants to run? Put it in a circle. You vote.
Right.
In two-party system. That's them.
They should fight to the death.
I would be down with that.
They should fight to the death.
And then the one that dies couldn't run the next year. So
Yeah,
perfect. We
man.
getting rid of
He
politicians.
was tired anyway.
I think Bernie Sanders got some scrap in him left.
Yeah.
Nah,
Not with that speed bag.
did you see?
That speed bag gave him the business.
Well, I didn't see.
Oh, you hit the speed bag.
Hit
I've
a
never
back
seen
dog.
anybody get hit by
Ever.
a speed bag.
Ever.
Speed bag was like, oh yeah, pat.
He hit that thing and bounced back, hit him in the head. He was
Man,
like, he looked like that gif in the iPhone, and the kid be like,
man. I was like, I've
You
never
think-
seen that.
yeah.
You think he could take Donald Trump?
Yeah.
I think he could take Trump.
I think he could take Trump.
Trump, Sanders, in a
I think
knife
Trump
fight?
would be out of gas. And like
Oh, you mean
one,
in this
in one
physical
punch.
scrap?
You said a fight to the death.
I don't know, man. Once I saw the speed bag footage, I was like, man, if the speed bag can get you, Donald Trump might sock you up.
You just gotta
He
dodge
take the toupee
Trump.
off and throw it in his eyes. I can't
Donald Trump
see.
looked meaty and solid, man.
He's
He
meaty.
might,
He's
you know what I
super
mean?
meaty.
He's meaty, but I don't see if he can run around the ring a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't see Donald Trump.
That's
doing
what I'm saying. I
any running.
see Trump getting gassed really fast.
Man, I don't know, man.
We'll go
'Cause
give
Bernie,
him one.
all it
Bring
takes
him
is
one.
that one
Yeah.
hit, one
got
hitter quitter.
dodge.
Yeah, and I seen Donald Trump in that wrestling ring. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know, man. I'm in a good place with the kids now. You know what I'm saying? Especially after hearing Serene on Life's a Joke and just hear him talk about his relationship with me with somebody else. I was just like, all right.
He was cool.
Yeah,
Like,
because
he
you
was
know we
always
worry
cool.
as parents.
He was
I'd be
cool
like, man,
from
am I
jump.
spending enough time? Did I do enough? Do I need to, because as they grew, it was just because we was together all the time, and then all of a sudden, they got lives. They want to do this, they want to do that. They got dates. They hanging out with their girl. So, but as a parent, I just wanted to still make sure that I was, doing enough in the mix. Y'all good, and that's what you want. You want independence, and so, so now I'm at a good place where it's just like, all right, they're good. We did a good job. They good to go now.
And they're very smart men. She asked, who would you pick as your taboo partner? He was like, well, Keon. So, I mean, he raised fantastic kids.
It was an easy pick, though. It was an easy pick. Keenan's mean. He gets mean to his teammates.
Keenan's gotten way better. He got 6 last time.
He did. That was the best round I ever seen.
Ever.
But he argued it. He's like, I got more than that. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
That was the highest I've ever seen you get.
He argued that he got more than 6 before?
Yeah.
That's 14 tacos all over again.
Man,
What does he be?
That's the best round you've ever had.
Ever.
Like,
not even close. He's only got, I think his high was 4.
Because Kenan will yell at you if you don't get the clues. He won't even switch up the clues. He'll just get pissed. And DC is super, hit or miss. And then Brandon Lewis is hardly ever there. And then Chaz is, nobody really remembers Chaz's track record. Yeah. But Keon is consistent. So, of course Serene was like Keon. And I was taken off the board.
Oh, Serene's new song is good. It's Boss Up.
Yeah.
That's a single.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
Okay.
I would dance to that song.
What kind of music do you listen to?
It depends.
Uh-huh.
Because if it's dance music, it's African fusion or dance hall, or like it's gotta be good hip hop rap.
Right.
Like melody wise. But if it's skating music, then it's like classic rock and you need the extended notes.
Yeah.
So
classic rock, huh?
2 sides of the spectrum, depending on what I'm doing.
Okay. I never knew what you listened to in the vehicle.
Vehicle.
Oh, because the vehicle's different. You know what I mean?
That's pop music. Because I'll listen to stupid pop music and just be like,
like current pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Radio. I know what's on the
radio.
radio.
You listen to the radio?
I love the radio.
Judgment. Judgment. Everything good?
He fell or something like that.
You gotta go get him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Boom. He gotta go get Keelan, y'all. Keep us posted though.
That's serious.
Yeah, man, they called. I'm like, oh man.
Well, I guess I'll move into his seat. I'm not on camera right now, so I guess I'll move over.
And you got kids now, man.
Oh man.
You got kids now. You got 2 kids. Come on over here. You listen to the radio though, man. I can't do it. I cannot do regular radio.
But you gotta know what people are doing.
No, I don't. I don't.
No?
No.
Man. That sounds like something like, I guess this is daddy issues, but that's something like my dad would say, like, oh, these kids today.
It's not even the kids today. Here's what I don't like about the radio and like, I listen to 94.7 The Wave.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be like a specialized like station where they only play this and that. If it's just a regular pop station, we just playing what's hot right now. It's just you forcing me to like certain songs instead of just going through a traditional organic playlist. It's just like, all right, we're gonna keep this going once an hour, and it's just like, I can't trust the playlist, and so that's why. Oh, thanks, dog. Keep us posted.
Yeah, let us know.
Yes. Bye, Kendrick.
Cameron, you gotta. Okay.
So yeah, so with that, it comes like if I was on like Sirius Radio and you got like a certain hip hop, or even on Pandora when you can make a station based on a certain artist and then everything comes together. Yes, but like, cause I like new music. I don't want to get it twisted to where I don't listen to nothing new. I do. I listen to new stuff all the time, and I like finding new artists and stuff like that. It's just the radio dictating what I'm about to listen to.
But you gotta know what our overlords want you to think. Like when they play music, what music they're playing, and what the message is.
Right.
So I'm always curious to know, okay, so what are they trying to make me believe? Like Tony Valentino's my man, and he's the director. For people who don't know, he's behind the scenes, like doing everything all the time. But he will watch the news. I'm like, why you watch that? You know, they're just trying to program me. He's like, I want to know what they're trying to make me believe.
Ah, okay.
So
That makes sense.
yeah.
It really makes sense for the news. Music, though, I don't know. But I definitely feel like there's an agenda with radio and what's hot and what's, because if you look at, let's say hip hop, for example, when, because I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and so, I saw the transition from like rap with a message that was being popular on the radio to the materialistic rap it went super, we're having a good time and we're making words rhyme and we're doing this, we're doing that. And then it went into, you know what I'm saying, racism is alive and well in this country, fight the power, you know what I'm saying, take the president down. It got real political, knowledge of self, I'm black and I'm proud. And then it became, then it went to the thug, like, drugs, gangs, shooting each other. Then it transitioned into materialistic. We drinking this, we wearing this, we hooking up with mad chicks. And
Air Force Ones came out like, oh, you're supposed to buy these shoes.
Now we got product placement. Now we, Air Force Ones and like, and so all of this and you just see the transition. But, I would like for us to get back into the, real issues rap. You know what I'm saying? Talk about what's going on in the government. Talk about what you're going through in your neighborhood. Talk about family issues, depression. So I like pockets like that. And artists like that, like, if you look at the top 3 rappers right now, Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. Drake is popular because he caters to the female audience. He taps into that base. And Kendrick is more of he's super cerebral. We'll talk about social issues, what's going on, speaking from the people's point of view. And J. Cole does it the same way, more poetically in terms of like, but it comes from a real place dealing with insecurities, racism in America. Those are the top 3 rappers in terms of, straight popularity with their albums.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people coming out with hit singles, but like those 3 right there are like the 3 kings, and it shows that people want the real.
They do.
Even if you look, and it's not even really a race thing. It's like if you look at Public Enemy's white audience is massive. Even though they were talking about racism in this country, they were like, yeah, And so
we're talking about real stuff.
They're talking about real stuff, and the white audience connects with that kind of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's but it's the fluff. The radio keeps pumping. Just keep the fluff going. The cars and the women, cash.
Well, it's interesting because I'll go past a country station and I was like, well, there's a time where country was about real stuff too, and there's still some real stuff. Yeah. But there's also a lot of
fluff.
There's a lot of fluff coming out. Just oh man, what was that song about? I don't know, but it was about how country people wanted big butts too. I forget the name of the song, but they want that.
Yeah.
And it's about, trucks, buy trucks and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, there's like 6 people who own all the stations now. That's what they want us to believe.
Consumerism. They say Ford is like, hey, keep that going. We selling so many F-150s because of this song. Keep it going. The Chevy half-ton. Let's go. They can't trust it. That's why I just turn the radio off. As soon as I get in the car, I'll plug in what I got going immediately.
That's true. But then I would never have heard Tatiana if I heard it on the radio.
I can't stand that song. I hate it. I hate that song. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not a guy that, because a lot of people think, oh, you old, you don't like what's hot and new. No, it's not that at all. I listen to new music all the time, but that? Nah. Oh,
man. How did that get on the radio?
Easy. They just took it up there and it just, somebody makes a dance to it on social media, that goes viral, and then boom, you got a hit song.
I don't know why there's not more dance hall and African fusion on the radio.
We just need somebody to make a dance go viral to that song, and then boom.
Yemi Alade. Bounce. That's probably the best song I've heard in a minute. You can't not dance to that song.
I don't think I heard that one. Or
I can't
maybe
play it
have.
now because
Yeah,
of
yeah,
copyright. But after, I'll play that song. I'm like, this is the danciest song.
Yeah.
She's Nigerian, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But she has. And speaking of female artists, Yemi Alade,
Mm-hmm.
she has got some of the best dance singles coming out straight out of Africa.
Straight out.
Straight out.
She got the accent and everything?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh yeah. African fusion. That's the thing.
That's dope, man. What else is going on in these streets, man? Since we lost Keon. Hopefully Keelan's good.
Yeah, we lost Keon right now. We're going to talk about the mess he got into on Instagram yesterday. But we're going to wait until next week.
Okay.
Okay. So childcare. Don't look at the screen.
Okay. I
Guess-
can't even read it from here anyway.
Guess how much childcare costs in California per month?
I feel like I want to say 40,000 a month, but I'm gonna just aim a little bit more realistically and bring in an average for the state. I'm gonna say $27,000 a month.
It costs for a 4-year-old $956 a month.
Oh, I was way off.
Yeah, and for an infant, $1,412.
Okay, all right.
That. Are you thinking per year?
I was thinking a month. Because I know child care is ridiculous, especially when you have a younger child. It's off the chain. So I was like 27,000 a month, but that was ridiculous for me to go there because a month is crazy. But 1,400 a month.
A month.
That's a lot.
What do you pay? Oh, I'm not going to ask, but it's more expensive than a 4-year public college.
Wow. And that's rent. That's rent. That's mortgage.
Yeah.
You know, we're really out like Southern California. That's rent. That could be rent for like a 1-bedroom.
Oh yeah.
And that's just for the child.
It was for one child.
And you still got to pay the $1,400 for the child. You still got to pay your rent, your utilities, your car note. I'm like, how are you making it?
I have no idea how people have
Man.
kids.
I'm like, how are you making it? Especially, God forbid if you're single. You know what I mean? $1,400 a month. Oh,
You can get tax breaks. So if you're single and you're not making anything, it probably makes more sense to completely quit your job and
that
go
way you
on
get
welfare.
the government. Yeah.
Because otherwise, what kind of job are you working where you have an extra $1,400 a
An
month?
extra, yes. Because those infants are super pricey, man. I remember the boys, when we first started taking them to daycare, they went to this daycare called University Daycare. It was right across the street from the New Mexico State. And I can't remember how much we were paying. But, it wasn't, I don't remember it being too ridiculously nosebleed expensive. But it adds up. It was pricey, and then we had two because they were close together, and so he's just like, man, that's why everybody goes the family route if you can. Like, please, if you could just. And my aunt owned a daycare center out of her home. Like, she like throughout the 80s to the early 90s, she had the daycare in her home, and so like if you go to her house, she would have the little Cookie Monster and Big Bird in the window. It was embarrassing when I lived there because, like, oh, you live in the house with the goofy Sesame Street, joints in the window. I was like, yeah, that's me right there. This is back at the time where they roasted you for anything, and like you're uncertain, your insecurities are at level 10. So it's like, yeah, well, no, I live in the garage behind it, just me, as a man. It's just weights in there. No bed. It's just a weight bench and a bowl for me to eat animals alive.
Did she watch your kids? Your aunt?
No, because this is in Chicago. I had the boys in New Mexico, so no. It would have been cool to have the family. I like the family dynamic when it comes to watching the kids. If you got a solid family, like just because they family don't mean they good to watch the kids. Some family members are horrible individuals, but I don't mean I'm just talking families in general. Because a lot of times when you hear about, kids that have gotten, molested and stuff, a lot of times it's family.
Yeah.
And so it's scary. But the daycare center Cause I used to. We lived in the basement of her place. Like when we moved to that side of Chicago, we moved from a certain area, stayed with her, and so we were in the basement. Me, my mom, my brother, and Chicago basements. If you're not familiar with Midwest basements, it's a whole nother apartment right underneath the house. So we down there, fully functional, and she would have the kids upstairs. So I would go up there, and then I was like, you know what? Let me try babysitting. Like when we moved, me and my mom and my brother moved to an apartment about 2 blocks away. I was like, Katie, can I start watching one of the kids that you have, and try to make some money myself? I watched this kid named Patrick, and I watched him for like two days, and I was like, I can't do it.
2 full days?
Yeah, he was getting on my nerves, man. I didn't have the patience for Patrick, and I was like maybe 12, 13 at the time, maybe 13. I thought I could do it. I was like, you know what?
I started babysitting about that age, yeah.
I couldn't. Now when I think back, Patrick was easy work. But I was a kid then. I was like, nah, man. There's too much going on.
You got to have patience.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you say something rude, that could stick with them for their entire life.
Right.
So you got to be really like, you're working with a child of God. You got to think like you're really working with someone special.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what they say or what they do, how much they get on your nerves,
Right.
only do something that's going to be beneficial for the
Mm-hmm.
kid. I don't watch kids anymore, FYI, because I don't know.
That's a muscle that you have to be able to not, say the wrong thing at any moment.
I remember I had one babysitter who said to me, she's like, I wish I only had to babysit one of you. And she's talking to my little sister. And I was like, oh, you mean the 2 of us? And she's like, no, just Mary. And I was like, oh, I still remember that. And I still remember how her life turned out. And I was kind of like laughing about it.
You never forgot that moment.
Never forgot that
moment. What
moment.
did she have on? Do you remember the outfit?
Oh, my God. She had a terrible 80s perm. And she made a lot of bad decisions. And she actually ended up moving in. This was when we were in Attleboro. She ended up moving in with one of the not so savory men on the street. And I think her babysitting us kind of messed up her entire life.
Wow.
So that was
really
babysitting
sad. Y'all messed up her entire life?
Because she was also the type to like take us to the mall when she wasn't supposed to take us to the mall.
Okay.
And I remember my mom asking, like, what happened to your hat? I was like, oh, I lost it at the mall. It's probably why she didn't like me that much. And she's like, why were you at the mall? You're supposed to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so she fell into the wrong crowd around our house. Not that we were in the crowd, but, she's young and impressionable. And it kind of ruined her whole life.
What? How old were you?
I was like, okay, so this was Attleboro, Massachusetts. I had to have been like 4 or 5.
Okay.
So we didn't do anything wrong. My mom didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
She just was very she was a teenager. She just wanted to be with the cool kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, the cool kids are there's guys around the house who are driving motorcycles, listening to the hair bands. And it's just.
Y'all were just money to her. And, apparently you were doing too much as a 4-year-old to where she singled you out. And she was like, man, I wish I could just babysit one of y'all. And then you had to ask further questions.
I probably shouldn't have. I was 4. How was I supposed to know?
You should have just been like, I assume she means me. And then, because if both of y'all had that mindset, y'all would have never probed further to get the real. And then, unfortunately, you on the. Now I asked your sister. She like, man, one of the best things that was ever said to me was, I wish I could only babysit one of you. She was talking about me. That really boosted my confidence throughout life.
It's true. It could have been a race thing as well, because the babysitter was white and my sister, because I'm mixed, and my sister's full.
Oh, okay.
So I always think about that with babysitters.
we got a racial element in there
I don't
now.
know.
Possibly.
I don't know. I don't want to think badly of this person. Although obviously I already.
You was already there. You know what I mean?
Already
Maybe it was a racial component.
Maybe. They always liked Mary more. I'm just going to say a lot of our paler babysitters seem to like Mary more.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I don't want to say why.
Maybe they were more familiar with doing the hair.
My mom did my hair.
Uh-huh.
Every week she would, 6 hours. I had long braids, small braids. She would sit there and she would do the braids. And no other baby. She was like, don't mess with her hair. You're just going to mess it up.
Right. There's levels to this. Wow. I wonder what she's doing right this minute.
I don't think she made very good life choices, this
Yeah.
babysitter.
Who knows, man? If you're out there watching.
I remember what you said. I remember what you said way back in the day.
I held on to it to this very day, this very moment. Man, I'm trying to remember. I remember stuff teachers would say to me, like, because I don't really remember babysitters, like, growing up. I remember this one babysitter I had. She was a homeless woman, actually. Like, I didn't find that out till later. I was like, you had a homeless woman babysitting me? She could have kidnapped me and sold me to the highest bidder on the streets. I don't know if there's a racket for that, but like, oh, I got this kid right here. Look at him. He's robust, chubby. He can do stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? $200. But she was great. Like, I remember her. I remember she always had on this blue robe because apparently she would shower while she was at our place or bathe. You know, I forget if we had a bath or a shower in there. Not knowing that that was probably her only shower, you know, for the week or the day. That's the only place she could shower because she was always robed up at our house, you know. I'm like, why she always got the robe on? You know what I mean? But she would read, like, to me, she would read my comic books to me. And I was like, man, I like her. Her name was Adaya. And found out she was homeless. I was like, what? You know, but I loved her though. She was great. She was really nice. And then after that, I don't really remember too much babysitters going on because I'm the youngest of 3 boys. So a lot of times it was just me and my brothers at home, and you know, my mom would go out. So my brothers watched me a lot. I would go with them on, you know, they hanging out, they playing football in the park. I'm with them. I remember I got caught up in the tackle one time. Like, I was on the field, and then the tackling, you know, the ball or just the human ball of contact and physicality was just getting closer to me. I didn't move. You know those cartoons with his fisticuffs and it's just a ball of smoke and you see a fist, an X come up, and then, you know, and then I was just looking at it, and then I got caught up in the tackle, nosebleed. I was just like, ugh. Hello, why didn't you move? No. And so they would just take me on their adventures through the city of Chicago. And then after that, like, you know, I started pretty much watching myself. You get to a certain age, I could do this. I want the responsibility. I always wanted the responsibility of stuff growing up. Like, I want to cook my own food. I want to babysit a kid. And then I was like, nah, look out, you know.
Nah.
But at least I got the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? They trusted me enough to give me a shot. I feel bad for the mom of that kid because she needed me, you know, clearly, you know what I mean? And so I feel bad for that. But, you know, you live and you learn. I was young. I apologize.
Well, it's better that you understood your limits and didn't try to push it
Right.
further and hurt Patrick, you said?
Patrick is his name, yeah. Wonder what he's up to now. But, so, and then I remember learning how to cook myself. I started out with eggs. Eggs are always the go-to. That's the introduction to cooking your own food. And then I was making burgers inside the oven, like I was broiling them. Then I moved to the skillet, you know what I mean? And it's just huge patties and just like, yeah, you know. And then I just felt grown. I was like, yo, I'm cooking my own meals. I'm out here after school. You know, who's going to tell me anything? I felt like I was on Wall Street with a briefcase and just a full pension, health insurance. You know, I had none of this, but that's what it felt like. And so I think about my kids in that sense, like, do they want the independence? How do they feel? You know, now especially my youngest son in college. Like, he was out of the house at 17, technically. And so that's like, here you go, you know, and it's just.
You have to have the independence.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, I mean, you don't want to be like, oh, I have to get married because I can't cook, I can't do laundry, so
Right.
I got to settle down with the first person comes around
Right.
that can cook a burger. You have to be, you know, you have to be choosy with
Right.
your spouse.
Absolutely, man. Everybody can't coexist in the same house. People downplay the coexistence in the same house aspect of a relationship. Like, you know, they just be like, we're in love, so we're going to move in together. You gotta once you look past that little layer of hearts in the eyes, you gotta get down to the bare bones of like, are they messy? Do they clean up? Are they cluttery? Can they, do they show initiative on the cleanup? Man, you gotta factor all this in because then it'll tap into the romance.
Oh yeah, well, if you're constantly cleaning up after somebody,
Oh.
then you're less attracted to them.
Yeah, you resent them like you just don't never clean up shit. Look at you, man. You know what I'm saying? Take the trash out for once. Just little things just build up, and then next thing you know, resentment.
Or is this person willing to let things slide? Like how laid back are they really? Because you could be laid back in public, but
Right.
if someone leaves a glass in the sink,
Right.
that's a good test to see how chill a person is on the inside.
Right.
Like, I'm going to leave this glass in the sink for 2 days.
Ugh.
See? See that face?
I'm just, I don't like stuff sitting in the sink too long.
Yeah.
I just don't like it, man. Finish the task. I'm not falling for the letting it soak community. The letting it soak, I was letting it soak for 2 days. I'm not buying the letting it soak, man. Chaz used to do that to me. I was letting it soak. No, you wasn't. You just didn't get around to washing the dishes. You can let it soak for a couple hours, okay? If you got that tough, and it shouldn't even have got that tough to begin with because you had it sitting on the stove. Now it's super crusty. Now you got to let it soak for 2 days.
Well, you got to put some dishwashing liquid in some water and then put it back on the stove for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That'll come all off.
See? 5 minutes. I'm not falling for and don't fall for the letting it soak community. If you living with a letting it soaker, put them on blast, man. Call them out. I'm sick of it. What else we got going besides dishes and babysitting?
We have a new study out of Utrecht University that shows the children of older parents had fewer behavioral problems than those born to younger parents. This takes into account socioeconomic factors like the older parents made more money. I said Tony and Keon. Keon's here. Tony, why do you think older parents have better behaved children?
Well, it could be a number of things, like more structure. Like I feel like if you're older, you're probably more solidified in your scheduling, in your time, and just the structure. Like let's say you're an older parent. You've got your career is like rock solid. You got the solid schedule, so boom, I need somebody to watch the kids from here to there. Boom, everything's just more because like when you're young, you might still be in college. Your class schedules change, and then from there you trying to look for a job, and you find a job. You got to really cater to whatever schedule you can find at the time, because after you get out of college, ain't no guarantee you're gonna get a job out the gate, even with the degree. So you just taking what you can get. You might work night shifts. It's all kind of uncertainty and stuff. But when you're older, you've been working with the same company for a long time. Schedule set. You got money set aside. So you got good quality daycare going. The scheduling. Then your mind. You're older in your mind. You're more grounded. Probably more focused on the kids at this time. You might not be running around chasing after lovers or whatever, so you can just really focus on the kids, make time for them. And so when they do misbehave, you're right there to be like, no, this is why we do this, no, do this, that, and the third. And then so I think all of that might play into why they're more behaved from the older parents. Like I look at you look at actors all the time, and a lot of them have children when they're old. You be seeing they be in their 40s with their first kid, 50s. I think George Clooney just had his first child recently. He had twins, right? And he's in his 50s.
Yeah,
and
she's younger, but
that's his debut. And so he's coming with a fully realized life and life experiences and just like a total life perspective that he can put to his children. That's just and I'm sure he's like super focused on because he didn't live life to the fullest. What hasn't George Clooney done at this point?
Yeah.
So now this is something completely new to him. This is, I've traveled the world. I've done this. I've done that. I've done charity, movies, parties. I've done all that. Now this is a new thing that I can just really focus on. And so now these kids are getting, great, like undivided attention. It's just different. And a lot of people in society are like, man, you gotta have the kids when you're young. You're getting too old. I think older parents would be fantastic.
If you had a child now,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think it would be different? What would you do differently?
Well, if I had a child now, I would feel bad because I'm traveling more now. I'm traveling more now than I ever have in my career. So I would be gone. So I'd feel terrible. Like, I'd be like, man, I would have to be at a place where let's say you ask me this question, I'm where I am now mentally, but I've already traveled and toured, so now I'm more secure with my money's nice and I'm working locally. Like, let's say I'm on a sitcom. So, and we shoot here. It would be great because I could really focus on, the kids or kid, and like from an older perspective, more solid. Because like when I had the boys, I was still in college trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure out what I really wanted to do for a living. And so, I'm stressed about that internally. You know what I mean? And so hopefully it doesn't spring forth on the kids, but it's like,
how can you avoid it?
right. And so now where I know my purpose in life as a man now, career-wise, I just have a more chill internal operation system now. And so when it comes to parenting, I'm more chill, relaxed, whatever they may need. I don't really stress about it financially. It's just a different, and so I could just be more chill and just like focus on like the basic things of like, just teaching them things and doing stuff with them and showing them stuff. So I feel like I would be an even better parent now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't have kids in my 20s or my teens. I think I was too selfish, and I think that they would have been like an accessory instead of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the main component, the selfish factor.
Mm-hmm.
When you're older, I feel like you're less selfish.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's probably a huge piece to the puzzle then. The selfish, you're just trying to get your own life together, and then you got this other life that's waiting for you to help mold it. You're like, you're trying to divide the time up. But when you're older, already done life, you figured out, you mastered the life game. Now you can come and
blaming kids for ruining your life, for trying to live through them, through sports.
If it wasn't for you, I could have been Come on,
no,
man.
you couldn't.
Nah, man. Don't put that on them.
Yeah, and most of the time parents say that, like, you weren't doing that anyway.
Right, exactly. Don't pin that on us.
Yeah. So we have some questions. I feel bad Keon's not here because... So let's just ask this first. I'll ask you this question. Dora K. 2012 asks, how did y'all pick your kids' names? Did your wives pick them, or did you have a say?
Oh, okay. For me, I noticed Keon's kids, they both got the K, the Keelan, the Kendrick. And I was like, Keon had a hand in all of this. You know what I'm saying? Well, of course, I can't speak for them. I don't know how they did it. But for me, I came up with the name Serene. It's a mixture of the two words certain and rain. So it's the definition of those two things combined. Because serene, to be certain is you want to deal with people that are certain about a lot of things. And so certainty, like, if somebody's coming through for you, certainly, you want to hear that. You want that type of energy. It can be bad, for certain you're going to fail 7th grade. And be like, oh, man, you sure?
But you went to summer school. You made it up.
I made it up, you know what I'm saying? But certainly I failed. But, and then rain is the natural element. Like, without rain, we die as a planet. And so, it's vital to our existence. So I just combined those two words to serene, and I just love the sound of it. Their mother and I both have C as our middle names. So, wanted the boys to have like C names. So Serene, boom. And then sincere is the definition of the word sincere. It's like, you really mean what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And so I just changed the spelling of it, get the C component in there, and then here we are. So that's how the boys were named. And, luckily Ree agreed with the name. She was like, I like these. And then we went forward. And here they are, fully realized, unique names in the
Yeah.
community. Yeah, so.
Mad unique. My mom, my mom's sister, and her mom are all C's.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Celeste, Claudia, Carol.
Boom. You know, the C's work. And, you know, my middle name is Charles, so it's like, boom. C. I was almost a ABC kid because my initials are ACB. I was like, man, almost.
I know that for some reason my parents are going through an African phase when we were born. So me and all my dad's kids are the most African names.
Yeah.
And me and my brother have super African names. And then nobody could pronounce them. So my brother is Obasi, which is like a Nigerian name. And my middle name is Eno Obasi. I'm like, why did you choose that name?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
It's dope, though.
Eno Obasi. And then my first name is not spelled how it's said.
Oh.
They were just difficult. They were
Yeah.
going through like a very difficult period when they're like, we're going to name this person something no one's ever going to say.
Yeah.
Is going to build her character up to the extreme. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks for that.
Do you like your middle name?
I do not like my middle name. How do you spell that?
Was
Guess how
it-
to spell that.
What is it? If I had to spell it, Eno Obasi. Oh, man, that's... If I was at gunpoint, I'm sure I would be shot to pieces. What does it mean, though?
It means gift of God.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. But Obasi's name means God. That's a bit much to be naming your kid
I
God.
mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of pressure with that. A lot of pressure. But, you know, I like them.
This was during the Rastafarian phase of the 80s. There was going to be an African king that brought everyone together. We're going to
Yes.
go back. We're going to live in Africa. Yeah, it didn't turn out that way.
Nah.
Just keep in mind, if you're going through a phase, parents, that phase might end in 10 years. Your kid's going to live 80, 90 years.
I think I like the middle name, man. Y'all chime in. Do y'all like Maya's middle name? And spell it in the caption if you can for the people.
I'm going to see if they can spell it.
Yeah.
I couldn't spell it till I was
They gonna cheat though. They gonna go to Google. Can't trust anybody now.
Here's an interesting question, and this can apply to comedy and other things as well.
Okay.
It says, friends with the dealer asks, anyway, I always wondered what are some pitfalls that you guys have witnessed great or potential great comedians go through? Like seeing a guy on stage and he's killing it, and then you look up and he's either barely around or just quit altogether. I remember you guys discussing how pessimistic comedians can be. Is it somewhat of a good trait for a comedian to be sad and emo or not emotional at all in order to write good material?
I really think it just depends on the individual. Like, you know, it's a lot of pessimistic, negative comedians off stage, but they're hilarious on stage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's certain comedians that I know, like, you know, I love watching them work, but then off stage, don't come over here. don't even come over here, man. But it's like, it's just like that. Like, you know, and it's probably like that. You look at all the great comedians of all time. It's probably always something. Like look at all the stuff Richard Pryor went through. You know, as just a human being, and like, you know, he's considered to be, you know, the epitome of great stand up. And like, you know, as a human, as a father, you know, he had his demons and stuff like that. So it really just depends on the comedian. And as far as like, you know, when they disappear, some just get out the game. Like, you know, it's a lot to deal with. It's a lot of pressure to always come up with new material. That's why, like, you know, the best comedians, the ones that, you know, stand the test of time, they always working. They genuinely love stand-up. Like, when you look at a guy like, let's say Jerry Seinfeld, who's one of my influences as a stand-up comedian, he seems like, at least the energy I get from him, like a regular guy in terms of just like how he lives his life, his energy. Watching his stand up and, you know, watching him in interviews, he seemed to grow up with good parents, you know, and he just genuinely loves stand up and the art of it. And like, you know, people probably get on his nerves. That's human nature, but like, it doesn't seem like he did drugs. It doesn't seem like he battled with alcoholism. It just seemed like he was just a guy that loved stand-up. And he's considered one of the greats. He had a great TV show, great career, and he still does stand-up. You know what I mean? And like, you got other cats that, pulling their penis out and jerking it off in front of women, and like, drug abuse, this, that, and the third, alcohol, and like issues with the cops, and like it's just always something. And those cats can be great too. So it really just depends. Like when comedians look at my life and they be like, man, you don't drink, you don't do nothing. Like, I've had my issues, you know what I mean? In terms of like, just like life issues, like divorce and like, self-doubt, all of that. But ultimately, I feel like I've had a normal, life. Grew up on the south side of Chicago. I witnessed a murder,
You did?
Yeah.
When did you witness a murder? Have you told that story?
I did. Like, I don't know if I did it on Daddy Issues though, but it wasn't like a straight up, I seen every piece of the crime, but it was like, a cab driver got shot in the head right in front of the house. And so, and I looked out of the mail slot in the door, and I was like, and then I seen the guy run back towards Stateway Projects, and then the cab driver staggered to the motel across the street. He died over there in the little cafe, and I was just like, and so we had the blood stains on the sidewalk right outside and it was just, and this is like elementary school, so I was just like, man, this is how life is everywhere.
Not everywhere.
Yeah, but that's what I was, because Chicago was my reality, so it was just like, this is how it is everywhere, and so, yeah, but it wasn't like that really damaged me hard. I'm sure it had an effect, but like as far as like hard damage, self-destructive behavior, like nah. But drugs and alcohol within the family dynamic, that played a part on me in terms of how I view drug use and like, drinking all the time. That played a factor, because it was like, man, I don't want to do that, And so all of those elements come into play, and then, so I really don't think that. And then you got comedians that were hilarious, doing it, killing it. They just gave it up either to focus on family. Maybe the business just got to them. Everybody has like a unique story as to why they continue with comedy or just stop doing it.
And there's other kinds of comedy. You can be a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be in the comedy world,
right,
but not stand up, but
right,
not doing direct stand up every night, which
right,
is obviously hard because it starts at 8,
mm-hmm,
and then you're probably not going to be, I don't know for a fact, but it's going to be hard to wake up at 6 to get the kids off to school.
right, yeah, because you were up all night. You know what I mean? Especially in New York, man, they'd be up late over there. So it just really depends. So there's that.
And this can also apply to life too, because a lot of people let pitfalls and bumps in the road completely ruin the path that they were on.
Right.
And it's just like, this is just a road bump. You can get over this.
Yeah. Some people just fall off the road on one bump. It'd be like a speed bump, and then they veer off. They just jerk the wheel, go over the cliff, the car blows up. They just like,
don't get caught up in speed bumps. It's just a speed bump. Life goes on. Okay, here's a question from Stimson J. Cat. Question, Tony and Keon, has anyone ever told you that they were surprised that you were a good parent? When my daughter was around 3 or 4, my brother said I shocked him by how good of a mother I was, because he always thought I was spoiled and selfish.
I've never gotten that compliment. That could either mean they don't think I'm a good enough parent, or that they just always saw like, I think he would be a good dad. So I don't know, because I've never gotten the comment like, man, I was surprised. It's usually always been like, man, you're a good dad, and that's all I pretty much get. So
yeah,
your
kids turned out great.
Yeah,
both of them.
And I put a lot of that on Ree. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I guess people saw it.
You see Chili dancing to her son's song? You didn't see? She looks the same.
Oh yeah,
she hasn't changed a bit.
Chili looks amazing,
and she's still got all the moves fast and tight like that. So her son, who I guess is grown. I had no idea that she could have a kid that was grown. She put out a video on her Instagram dancing to it.
Yeah,
you gonna do that?
Dance to my why not? You know what I'm saying? I'll post his music on my page anyway. So like, why not?
We'll choreograph a dance.
Mm-hmm. It's probably gonna be trash because my knees my knees would be like, nah, Tone, don't do this. My knees retired.
When did your knees retire?
I don't know if they're fully retired, but I can tell, like, one false move, my knees would be like, they're going to pack their suitcases.
I know a lot of people who they say the same thing. Some of them are like 19 though, and they say their knees just will not go down for squats or anything like that.
My knees, like when I do exercises like that, my knees are like, ho. Ho. And so, sometimes when I'm going up the steps to my apartment, my left knee will be like, oh,
You have a brace that you can put on? I would definitely recommend that because that'll take some of the strain off your knee. I know I skate with this girl, and she's much, much younger than me, but her knees checked out.
Yeah.
Her knees checked out a long time ago. So she wears this little thing. It looks like a headband, but it's stronger to go under the knee to give her some more support on her landing leg.
See? And I don't even have a landing leg. But, man, my knees ain't got no reason to check out.
What did you, basketball? Or
I played football, but I didn't play that long. I didn't get an injury. I only played like 1 year.
That's weird.
Maybe my knee is just like, nah, maybe I don't work my knees enough.
Do you see a specialist? I would see a specialist about that because you know what? You're still young in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. And it's not like a serious like knee problem, but it's just I just notice I'm very in tune with what my body is doing. So I'm like, what's up with my knee? So I don't know.
If you have any tips for Tony's knees, if you could leave them in the comment section below. His left knee.
And we're going to end that. We're going to end the show on my knee. Not begging, but just like, please. Anyway, don't forget to, if you have any questions for Daddy Issues, ask us in the comment section of the YouTube page, and we'll tackle them on the show. Thank y'all for writing the questions, by the way. Keon will be back on the next episode. Hopefully, Keelan's all right. I'm gonna do a check-in now. Hopefully, we got some updates. Not yet. Oh wait, hold on. No, not yet. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated. Hopefully, Keelan's fine. Keelan's my little guy too, man. He's great. You can find me anywhere, Tony Baker Comedy on anything. Bringing verbal cardio back, so stay tuned for that. And you want people to find you, Maya?
My Instagram is all art. You can follow me at Maya Paints, MayePaints. It's mostly art.
Yeah, she can paint too, like for real. You know what I'm saying? True artist. And Keon Polee, you can find him at KeonPolee.com, Keon Polee on Instagram, and holla at him. Make sure everything's good to go. And we out here.